right. Back again. We watched an oldie.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know if this is the oldest movie we've watched, but it's close. 1962. The Magic Sword.
Yeah, I don't think we watched anything older than this.
Maybe you're right in that neighborhood. This is by a company called Kino Lorber. They're the same ones that released Sinbad of the Seven Seas.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. It very kind of has a flavor of that. Yeah, a little bit. So this is, well, before we get into that, let's do, once again, the worst whiskey in the world.
Yes.
Gets us started off right. Yep.
Why?
We do it for you. We hurt ourselves for your entertainment.
Every day.
Every day. So this is it's basically a kid's adventure movie.
Definitely feel the kids vibe in this for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Kids. It is definitely a kids movie. A kids sword and sorcery, dragons adventure.
Not a lot of dragons.
Well, just the one at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one you want. You can't have dragons the whole time. You got to build up to it.
Wish there was more dragons.
You want more dragons.
So, I guess, where do we just start from the beginning of it?
Yeah, I'll give the basic rundown. I mean, you've got a witch, a sorceress, this crazy old lady. She is, I think, one of the best actresses to play a part like this because her face is just wacky. She's got thin, wrinkly lips and her face is all twitchy. And she's got one eye going this way that kind of bugs out of her head, like naturally speaking. Yeah. She just looks weird.
Reminds me of a turtle. Just like a turtle's
a shrunken
coming out, shriveled up, shrunken face. Ugh.
But her eyes are all buggy.
But those boobs did not match her face.
Huge.
Those definitely were added up and filled with stuff. Can't be that buggy.
Maybe they are.
I don't think.
How much would you pay to see those
titties?
Those natty hangers?
Just to know what they are, probably $50.
50.
But
yeah,
I at least
I should have looked her up.
I at least get to touch them.
You got $50 to touch them. To play with them. So yeah, you've got this sorceress. She has raised Sir George since he was a boy.
Foster son.
His parents died in the plague, and she raised this kid.
Oh, this is after the plague?
That's what they said. I mean, there's could have been a generic plague, COVID-1 maybe.
COVID-1.
Yeah, way back in the day. He's now 20 years old, and he's obsessed with this princess. He watches her in a magic pool.
In a magic pool, like he has got to just masturbate
furiously.
I mean, with this access to this magic pool,
yeah,
and he is bouncing from room to room. He's seen some things.
How many times as a young man did you think of man, that would be so awesome?
That'd be sweet.
If I could be invisible.
I would never leave my room if I had access to this. I would never be outside. I would never be here.
That's basically what the internet has done to us.
Yeah.
That's why men don't bother talking to women now. They can just get on and watch porn and then move on with their day. This is reality. This is what's happened to us as a species. So he's in love with this princess. He's never met her. He's seen her in this magic pool.
It's on the verge of cyber stalking.
It's medieval times cyber stalking. Yeah. And then while he's watching her, she gets kidnapped.
Yep.
And So then he's like, oh, he's freaking out. I got to save her. And the sorceress is like, no, you're too young. You can't do it. You're only 20 years old.
Maybe when you're 21.
When you're 21, and by the way, when you're 21, I'm going to give you a magic horse, magic armor, a magic sword, magic shield.
6 fucking nights.
In 6 nights, but you got to wait a year. He's like, what? Fuck you.
I don't have time for this. And go get this badge.
Yeah, he tricks Grandma, locks her in the basement. Basically,
Of
takes
her,
his
like,
shit.
Cousin or something. Some other sorcerer had a room down there.
Yeah, and she
Yeah.
said it took him 80 years to escape.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, this is a perfect place to lock her up. Oh yeah, and then one of the things that when you first start watching this movie, one of the things that really gets you is like the old sorceress is in there and she's like casting a spell or something. And you see, like, she's got her, like, chimpanzee helper guy that's just sitting there.
Oh, yes.
And then she's got the two-headed
The two-headed
albino
Siamese
twins
twins. Yeah.
guys that just, they talk in unison. And it's kooky and weird.
Yes.
It's funny.
Yeah.
This is definitely, like, if I had seen this when I was a kid, I would fucking love this.
Because at first when I was watching, I was like, are they trying to go for super weird? But then it felt more comedy-ish than it felt weird to me with them.
Oh, with those people.
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
trying to be
yeah.
comedy relief. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, he locks her up and he wants to go save the princess. But now we're at the castle, and we've got Sir Branton, and we've got the king.
Yeah.
And the king is like,
Oh, my daughter's missing. What?
oh, you say she's missing, do you?
Oh.
Well, call up the armies. No, Branton's like, no, I will do it, and if I do it, I have to marry her because that's what you do.
It's like, all right, cool.
Yep, cool. There you go.
What's with this ring? Ah, nothing.
Yeah, I got a magic or whatever. I don't. So Sir Branton is our sort of like our what's the word? He's like our good-looking, heroic, but kind of evil dude.
Yeah.
You know, you think maybe could be okay, but you're not sure. But he
But
obviously
we're not rooting for him. You're not rooting
Right,
for him. You're rooting
right.
for the other dude.
right. He
Yeah.
wants a princess. George wants a princess. George shows up with. Oh yeah, by the way, he got these 6 nights by waving his magic sword, and they came out of a wall. They were like stuck in the wall.
Just confused
For some
with
reason.
the 6 nights.
It
Why?
was like destiny kind of thing, right?
Like they were frozen in time. And she's like, yeah, you get these 6 nights. Like, did you kidnap these dudes and froze them? And he wakes them up, and they're just like, "Oh, hey, all right,
We're here
do
to help
this."
you.
Yeah,
Hey.
like these people have families.
There's a Frenchman.
Yeah.
There's a German. There's a
Irishman,
He's the best. He's
Yeah.
the funniest.
Sir Patrick,
Spaniard.
Spaniard,
Another random dude. There's
Wait,
6
you said the German, right?
German.
Okay.
Spain, Germany, Spain, France,
France,
Ireland. And then
There was a Scottish one, I think.
Scott.
too.
Oh yeah, Scottish.
Scottish. Something happened.
Sorry, the Bears are doing
Bears
badly.
are badly.
People are upset in Tennessee. For some
And then I forgot what the 6th one was. He didn't last long, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
those got taken out quick.
Yeah.
So basically, he's got the knights with him. So we've got George and his 6 knights, and then Sir Branton, and they set off on a quest to go save the princess.
We skipped where the evil sorcerer came in at
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, he showed up and
He
basically-
shows up. He's like, "Oh yeah, I kidnapped your daughter,"
I'm gonna feed her to a
Yeah.
dragon.
and he's like, well, Sir Branton's gonna come." It's like, well, you gotta go through my 7 curses first.
7 full 7
I wouldn't even know if you call them curses. It's more like
7
a trial.
curses.
But
7.
I feel like 7 happened. There's like,
Nobody's ever made it all the way
Yeah.
through. You can't find my castle. You can find it
Yes.
easily, but you can't find it.
yes. He's like, I'll make it there.
No
It's
matter
like-
which direction you come from, there's 7, and they're in this specific place.
And I loved I wish I remember what he said. He was like, Sir Brandon's like, oh, I can make it there. He's like, oh, making it there is easy.
But the finding it is hard.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Yeah.
I would say that. And then he like transforms into a crow and then teleports.
Yeah, he flies over to the window, but then just disappears. Like,
Why? You said he's just showing off.
yeah, he's showing off his powers. Oh, what's the evil sorcerer's name?
I forgot his name. He
Anyway,
I just remember kind
he
of
looks
his
kind of like
story.
Yul Brenner, but he's not Yul
Yeah,
Brenner.
he looks so familiar. To
Yeah,
me.
he's been in shit.
But this character was he kidnapped the woman, the princess. What he tells to the king, he's like, "Yeah, your dad murdered my mother when she was 18.
No, his
or
sister.
That's
She
what
was-
it was.
He called her a witch and killed her when she was 18, and now your
Mean.
daughter's 18, and I'm gonna steal her.
Was he wrong if he's doing all this magic stuff?
Yeah, she was probably evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably deserved it. Yeah, probably. Probably deserved to be burned at the stake. My guess.
Yeah.
So then they go on the quest. So
Yes.
you've got the two. You've got the George and Branton are they're kind of working together, but they're not. They're obviously Branton's acting kind of weird.
Yes.
We run into a fucking. Is this is the ogre or troll?
The
Is it
ogre.
an ogre.
Yes.
Which is this
the
fucking.
gimp arm ogre.
He's got like a. He's covered in brown hair and kind of a fro,
Yeah.
and he's sitting there with a gimp arm, and it looks terrible. Okay, this is
This
the
is the
Harryhausen
60s,
era.
yeah.
Well, no, this is a
Yeah.
Harryhausen. Like you can still watch. Clash of the Titans. You can
Yeah.
still watch Jason the Argonauts. Amazing. Those
Yeah.
movies hold up completely. It looks so good. But this is like fucking.
Because you would see the blue around him.
Yeah, it doesn't. Well, it's not even. It's just. They
like-
cut the film. I don't know how they do it, but basically they superimpose.
Yeah, I
It looks
figured
bad.
what they did was cut the film on, put it onto it. That's what I assumed.
Put one
they
on
did,
top
or-
of the
yeah,
other.
Is
Yeah.
back during that time.
Somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
Just throwing rocks and
He's-
tree limbs.
he's like-
with his one arm.
he's got these fucked up teeth. There's just a guy in this shitty suit, and he's throwing boulders and logs, and
And two of the knights just die.
they just die. And George, since he has the magical white horse,
Oh yes,
runs in really fast circles around it.
dizzies the fuck out of this
Makes him
ogre.
dizzy. So he's like, oh.
The source is like, that's weird. Ah, it's just a fast horse.
Yeah. How is that such a fast horse? I don't know.
Huh. Ah, never mind.
When he gets dizzy, he kind of gets down on one knee, and that's when George stabs him.
Yes.
This is a funny thing. Like, so there's 7 curses. Immediately after this, they're in this swamp, and it's just dark and foggy,
Yeah,
and there's like
just
blood
foggy,
color. It's
yeah.
like bubbling water.
Yeah, bubbly red water.
Yeah,
And he's like, let's go this way.
and they're just like, oh,
you don't want to
we
go
can't."
through here. I can't find my other guys. They're gone.
One guy
Hey,
just,
Patrick, where are you at? Like,
where are you at? William, Stephen. Like, it was just
Yeah.
yelling, like, why is this swamp so dangerous? Because if your horse freaks out and throws you in the water, you'll be pulled into the water.
yeah, and you can't get out, and then you turn into like a withered skin
Withered
skeleton.
half skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we lose another guy in the swamp.
Yes. Now George gets kicked in.
He never brings up the fact that he was kicked
Exactly.
in by Sir Branton.
I mean,
It's true he didn't see him, but you'd think he would go, okay, wait a minute, who kicked me?
why?
Like, he would
This
wonder.
dude that we're both trying to get this chick and marry her.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be suspect number
It
one.
can't
for
be
me.
my bro Patrick. He
No.
wouldn't kick me into a
He
swamp.
wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it. He's got too much faith.
Yeah. All the faith.
And then the sword, like him and the other dude, they're in that swamp thing. The other night he turns into like the withered skeleton dude, and George swims up to his sword.
Yeah.
And grabs it, and the sword lifts him up.
The sword literally goes like that and like pulls him up. That was cool. I like that. Yeah, I like that idea. You know, this sword can do anything.
Yep.
It is the name of the movie, The Magic Sword.
It doesn't really do a lot of stuff.
And here's the thing, like, this movie is like 7 curses. But they're like, okay, we'll do 2, and then let's just sort of get on with it.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, wait
Unless
a minute.
they were counting the stuff that happens
7 is
between them.
okay. We're in a hot area.
Yeah,
It's
it's so hot. Why are we both sweaty?
We're sweating.
But Branson, he's not.
We're sweating.
Yeah.
And then
that's my secret.
And then randomly, 2 of the knights it just jumps to them standing in front of some like swirly yellow portal.
Oh yeah,
thing,
they
and
just
their fucking
wandered off.
faces are melting off.
Yeah,
and honestly, I say this is a kids movie, but
that would terrify.
Yeah,
kids.
like these guys' faces are just like burning off, and they're just like, go away, turn back.
Yeah.
So that's 3 curses.
Uh-huh.
But other than that, they just show up at the castle.
Yes.
They just show up.
In between that, it's whatever. Like the Frenchman, he is really on to Branson. He's like something's
Branton.
up. Branton. Sorry. Branton.
Sometimes they say Brandon.
Okay.
But it's Branton.
Branton.
Yeah.
So the Frenchman's following Branton. This is where we find out. Well, you get confirmation that Branton is in cahoots with the evil sorcerer.
Yeah. They made a deal.
Yeah.
Branton had his magic ring.
Yes.
He found it somehow.
Yep.
He's like, okay, you give me the princess, and then you get your.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yep. In this random mill house in the middle of nowhere. But sorcerer knows. He's like, I'll deal with this Frenchman. And then you have the hag. That's a hot French
girl. She's making out with him.
And then just turns and starts.
Like her eye is dripping out of her face.
Ugh, so creepy.
It was pretty good.
It was good.
Yeah.
Kind of wish there was more stuff with it.
He's like, sacre bleu. Merde. It's freaking out.
Yeah. And then you have the weird thing with in the cave, which to me I thought were like Japanese ghosts or something.
I feel like this scene was a total cop out. They were like, "Oh, we got to do something here.
We got to get rid of another.
We can't spend a lot of money. We got to get rid of Sir Patrick."
Yeah.
He gets possessed by a ghost, but while he's possessed, and then he disappears, and then he sort of forces the ghost to
open the door back out of this cave that was closed off. And the sorcerer was like, wait, what happened? Or no, not the sorcerer. Branton was like, how did he get out? It's that Patrick dude, he had too much Christian faith.
Yeah, all that Irish Christian faith, he had it.
Yeah.
Was it Protestant or Catholic? I don't know.
We'll
Probably.
Never know.
Actually, no. This time period, it would have been Catholic. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Catholic faith. He helped George escape from the cave, but he did die.
Yeah.
But anyway, we can't just. I don't want to go through the whole thing. It was funny. Like, I love when the princess is like she's being held captive, and there's this scene where the two
dwarves are tiny people.
The two. You're being very politically correct. I appreciate that. The two little people, when she's sleeping, creep in and basically are gonna rape her.
They are, but
They're just
walk around.
They're just like,
That's it. I mean, they would not touch
They
her.
just walk toward
They
her
would just
doing
do
this.
this.
And the camera's like right in there, and you're just like,
Yeah, nothing. She's like,
oh no. Then she runs out, and there's like all these fucking cone heads in there.
yes. The cone heads.
Cone
I
heads
wish there was
everywhere.
more stuff with the cone heads. They just walk around. That's all they do. They don't do anything.
Yeah, they're just hanging out, cone heads. So anyway, George shows up. He knows now that Branton is a bad guy, and he makes out with the princess when he goes in
Yes.
there. It ends up being that same old hag.
hag
Yeah,
again.
he got tricked. Well, they both got tricked because Branton was like, "Okay, give me the princess."
Yes.
Gives him the princess, so he gives the sorcerer the ring, and that's when the hag appears. He realized, oh, it's not the princess. It's the
Sorcerer, like,
she's
you really thought you could trust me?
you fool. And then once Branson doesn't have the ring, he fucking mounts his head on the wall.
Yes. Now that, for the time, that was kind of interesting how they did the effect with this one. Because it was a photo, was what
Right.
it was. Of him just
On
like
the
that.
yeah,
Instead
on the wall.
of like, let's cut a head, like, let's cut a circle out.
Yeah,
through
let's
this
have him
wall
actually stick
and
his head
actually
through the
stick
wall.
his head through the wall.
We don't have time for that.
I don't. Yeah, I guess. I mean, it would have cost taking too much time, money, just to cut a hole in there and just have his head sticking out. But it was. I respect it.
respect the effort.
Yes, I respect the effort.
They didn't have that Harryhausen budget.
Yeah. Sticking
Because-
a head through the wall.
Because
No, I'll do anything else, but I'll stick my head through that wall. No, that's an extra $100,000.
yeah, you gotta pay me for that. Well, let's get to the end.
Yes.
He throws George in the dungeon. Princess goes. She's tied up to be fed to the dragon.
Yes.
Oh yeah, these little people. So there's little people like
That-
this,
the
like
cone
this little.
heads and blue people and these
They
kind
eat.
of bird people.
They eat people.
Yeah.
They eat tiny people for dinner.
They love it. Like, let's have a feast of
yeah,
tiny people.
and they're like 6 inches. And one of the guys drops the cage. They escape and they bust out
and
George.
just go immediately. It's like, let's free this dude, George.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
his sword.
We don't know him or anything. Like he
No
didn't have
story, no background to
He's-
this guy.
We're just gonna bring him his sword. And it is cool. They do actually
Yeah.
have a giant fucking sword.
Yes, like they have the giant door. They step down and they carry the sword. Yeah, that part was awesome. That
They actually, to be
made
clear,
it.
they actually made a goddamn giant sword
Yes.
for these guys to fucking carry.
So
Yeah.
these are 5'8" people. The sword's probably what, 30, 40?
Yeah, 30 feet maybe.
Yeah.
A 30-foot fake ass sword.
And
that
then you have a giant door.
Yeah.
And a giant step down from the door.
and then they gotta carry it up. It shows them
Yeah.
like climbing up, and then they're like using the sword to cut his robes.
Yeah.
that was really cool.
Like, yeah, that part you definitely tell they actually made it. It's not like cut in type stuff.
Best effects
But
of the
yes.
movie, honestly.
Yes.
because he just made real shit. Of course, and then now he runs out to fight the dragon. The dragon is a two-headed puppet.
That doesn't really move, just occasionally throws its tail out and
It
breathes
does have-
fire out of its nose.
I appreciate that it had tongue, like its tongue would flick out on
Yeah.
each. I like that, but it literally just sat there with fire coming out of its nostrils, like
Yeah.
ah. And it's just the two heads are going, and then he's like, ah. And they don't do anything
They don't.
for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes, and then the tail comes down, wedges him down on the ground,
Yeah.
and of course he doesn't have his magic sword.
Yeah, he had lost his magic powers, so the witch shows up. She gives him back his magic powers. He cuts off the tail.
Yeah.
He stabs it. Yeah. He marries a princess.
The ending, though. Why did the knights come back
Yeah.
dead?
Yeah, so the very last scene, we've got George is marrying the princess. They have their They get married, and then right after they're married, the Knights walk
Knights
in.
walk in.
Why?
Why? And then
Oh wait, no, you know what? Here's how they explain it. Because the witch, Sybil,
Yes.
his stepmother, she had taken the magic ring from the evil guy.
Yes.
Who, by the way, how does he kill him? Oh, she turns into a cat, into a jaguar, and fucking
it mauls him.
just like Anyway, so he's dead because of that. But she had taken so when the Knights walk in, she just goes like with her ring, and then he like winks at her. So she used her ring to
bring them back. Okay.
Not really necessary, but I guess it makes kids feel better about.
Yeah, like
they didn't really die. They didn't really die. Yeah.
All right.
Give me your score on this.
I'm gonna give this about a 3.5, 3.5. I just wish there was a bit more effects in it.
Yeah.
That's really about it. Like I had a lot of fun watching it. I just wish there was more dragons or like more hags and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Just want more of that.
Yeah. We've been really we've been hitting it on the same level on these movies lately, and that I agree with 3.5. I think if I had seen this as a kid, I would probably give it a 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's a good kids movie. Now that I don't know how kids with their lack of because they're all addicted to their fucking iPads.
Oh, kids nowadays.
Who knows
no.
nowadays?
That it would be a 5.
Me as a kid, would love this movie.
Same here.
You know. But so I would give it a 3.5. Like it's a fun movie, but you gotta know what it is. It's like kind of a cheesy adventure fantasy movie aimed at kids in the 60s. So it's like you just have to know what you're getting into, or maybe don't. But it's fun. It's just a fun movie. It's not incredible. There are great moments. There are some good goofy effects that make you laugh.
Yeah, like when the foster mom, Sybil, she was like, "Oh, you don't need to go get that princess. Watch my new trick." He was like, "I don't want to see that again." She turns into the cat.
She turns into the cat. This worked when you were 5.
I'm
Why
just
doesn't it work
saying
now.
Yeah. I know you're 20. You've been of age since 10. These were different times.
They were different times. She's like, I've watched you jack off at that pool for years now.
I've not said a thing.
In my magic mirror. I just don't understand how mortals work. All this jacking off and why wanting to bang princesses.
Don't get it. Don't get it at all.
Don't understand it.
But yeah, check this movie out.
Yeah, show it to your kids. If you show them this rather than the trash that comes out now.
Like the trash on YouTube.
Right.
Just kids playing with toys.
Raise them
makes
right.
It makes no sense.
It's far better than Peppa Pig.
Oh yeah, when Peppa Pig eats her family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Far better than that.
Yeah. Definitely. Get it.